part of the structure. The difference between the chief and...
Yeah. Commissioner Kwanazi, you have just led evidence that there are two deputy heads. The one deals with specialized services, and that is you. Operational and specialized services, that is you. And the other department looks at, they deal with security, loss, and control. And who is the deputy head of security, loss, and control?
It's Deputy Chief of Police, Ndumiso Gwabe.
Okay. So under your specific department being operational and specialized services, you mentioned a few departments that report to you. I just want to make sure that I captured your evidence correctly. You mentioned logistics, Metro Police, you mentioned training, the training college, procurement, and bylaws. Those are some of the departments that fall under your specific department.
No, as the Deputy Chief of Police, you are those responsibilities are for the chief.
Okay.
Then for me, it's logistic, it's bylaws, it's no, you are correct.
Yeah.
You are correct. You are correct.
Okay,
yes.
so that was the correct evidence that you gave. That those are the various departments that basically report to you. And security does not fall within the purview of your department. That is dealt with by Ndumiso Gwabe.
Static security.
Pardon?
Static or guarding.
Static security.
Yeah, it's security and compliance. We are dealing with guarding. He's managing the private security that are contracted to do guard work. Those that are static at the doors. Yes, they are just monitoring the buildings or entrance, exits, check people when they're coming in, protecting state property. Again, they are also assisting in terms of our energy, in terms of infrastructure, deploying when people over the night, now there's this crime of dealing with infrastructure of the cities, your robots, your cable thefts, and other things.
But that falls under Commissioner Gwabe.
Yes, but as Metropolis too, we're having units that are doing that in terms of crime prevention.
Okay. If we then can proceed, I would like to now turn to the section regarding Mr. Van Wyk. If you look at your point F on the affidavit.
Oh, page 9. Yes.
Are you there? Okay. At paragraph 8 of your statement, you refer to a Mr. Van Wyk. Who is Mr. Van Wyk?
Mr. Van Wyk is a director of a private clinic which is called Medicare 24. That is based in Boksburg in the city of Ekurhuleni.
You mentioned a private clinic.
Yes, yes.
What do you know the name of the private clinic?
It's Medicare 24.
Medicare 24. Would you like to perhaps tell the committee about how you came to know Mr. Van Wyk? What?
Yes.
Yeah.
I came to know Mr. Mike Van Wyk late 2020. I had COVID-19, then when I came back within a month or two, I was approached by my members, EMPD members who work for community liaison unit, that there's a person by the name of Mike Van Wyk who is responsible for Medicare 24. He's having a program or a plan of working with the EMPD in terms of assisting officers with effective and efficient response when they're involved in incident and accidents, in terms of assisting them when they get injured or get shot whilst they're in the line of duty. You see, another program, it was that they want to work with us in terms of assisting in terms of our drinking and driving. We don't call it drinking and driving. We call it driving under the influence or under substance. But drinking and driving, that's how we call it every day. You see, then in terms of assisting us, in terms of drawing blood and making sure that at least it's secured and police are able, because when you do those operations, you are only given 2 hours, and you must make sure that within that 2 hours, because it's a detention, you see, that person send it over to SAPS, then they book 14 and everything. I think it was those ones that he suggested, if I remember very well. But there's a document where he has mentioned everything, just that we don't have it. But he mentioned all those things that he want to do with us. Then I said, no, this is a good plan. It's going to assist us. It's fine. You can arrange a meeting between me and him so that we check what's going on. Then we went to his Boksburg offices, because my office is in Boksburg, his office is in Boksburg. Then I went there, we met, he presented his plan the way I'm mentioning it. I said, no, this is a good plan. But part of it, he was mentioning issues that has to do with health department or health issues. You see, I saw it's a bigger plan, it's a bigger thing. Then I suggested to him that, no man, the best way is to come and present your plan to the city. I approached my deputy chief by then, Deputy Chief Mzolo. He relayed the message to the Chief of Police, Isaac Mapieye. Then I got a message from him that no. He must come and present at our CSMT. It's a senior management meeting of the city, where all head of departments are sitting. It is shared by the city manager. You see, he was forwarded an opportunity to present the plan, but I was not part of the plan because of my rank level. I was a junior by then.
Yes, that's what I would like to come to. Commissioner Mkhwanazi, you've taken us through extensively what your role has been over the period. I know that at the time at which you were discussing, you were the Deputy Chief of Police, but in 2020, you occupied the role of Director. Yes, and you were still in operations, operational and specialized services.
Yes, ma'am.
Does health fall under specialized and health and operational and health services?
No, ma'am. That's why I've said he must go and present there. Because in terms of health, let me mention it. He was mentioning the working relations between them as a private clinic working with state clinics, or our clinics that are managed by the city. We know that the mandate is with the province, but they were managed by the city because there's this process of moving them or taking them to the province. That's why I've said I don't have a clue about the clinics, how they operate and what. Go and present there.
Okay. You also mentioned in your evidence that you had a problem with drinking and driving. So when you arrest drivers on the road who are over the limit, you would need to take them to, you can't detain them for too long, not for longer than 2 hours. Why would Mr. Van Wyk be involved in that? Do you not have nurses within EMPD?
By then, Madam, we had, advocate, sorry. By then, we had 2 sisters who were registered sisters. I must mention this because we can have sisters in the clinic, but if they're not registered, they can't take blood. And we had 2 registered sisters that were responsible for 3,200 officers, which must work 24/7. Drink and driving, when they're at work, they are doing drink and driving for 24/7. It's with a challenge. A very serious challenge. We had a challenge, even now it's worse than before. Now we're having 1 sister in 1 region that must assist the whole, now it's 3,900 or 3,800 officers, you see. I think, as I mentioned in my statement, that officers privately, when they're doing their duties, not private, when they're executing their duties, they approach different clinics, whether it's a public clinic or our things don't do drink and driving. Public hospitals or private clinic, and work with them, you see. The same idea that Mike came up with, it has been happening, but Mike decided to come and wanted to formalize issues of drink and driving. Because it is a serious challenge, one must mention. You see, even now it's worse than before, you see. As I've said, that everyone decides when he's having a suspect. We call suspect, you see, even though we didn't, yeah, but it's a crime. We call them suspects. They go in for, oh, sorry. May I continue?
Who is disrupting the advocate? Are you being disrupted? There.
No, I'm not being disrupted, Chair. I just need a small clarity.
Oh, it's your hand up.
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Chair, I just need clarity. I'm not sure if I heard correctly. The witness is also, his sound isn't too good. Did you say the officers in their capacity approaches various clinics? So officers takes a blood test, takes a test of the driver, and they just go to any clinic, any hospital. Is that what you're saying? Thank you, Chair.
May I respond, Chair?
Yeah.
No, they arrest you, drive with you to the public hospital or to the private clinic and take the blood there. Immediately after the registered sister of that institution or of the public hospital or that one sister of ours, then you drive with the suspect to the police station. You don't leave the suspect. Immediately after taking the blood, the procedure says that immediately after taking the blood, immediately after the sister took the blood, you drive with the suspect to the police station. You don't leave the suspect and take the blood somewhere. No, you're not allowed to do that. The only thing that they do, they approach the private clinics or they go to public hospital and request that can they take the blood of a suspect for drunken driving. Because, sorry?
Any clinic, any hospital.
That's what I'm saying, Honorable Member. That's a challenge that we're having.
Okay, thank you.
Let me confirm that again. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, so your evidence is that you would then arrest the suspect, take them to the hospital or any private clinic for the purposes of drawing blood. And that was one of the reasons why you were talking to Mr. Van Wyk, even though it was just, you've made it clear that it was not a proposal to you. You're saying that, but he was having these discussions with you before you could point him to the correct people.
Yes,
Yes, that's okay.
Advocate.
The question that I then have for you is you said you've also given evidence that you only had 2 registered sisters. So it posed a challenge because you were dealing with approximately 3,000 staff members. Oh, that has to do with, what were you talking about in relation to 3,000 staff members?
No, when you are saying it's a challenge, you are putting it very nice. It's a disaster. You see, because drinking and driving, it's a problem on a daily basis. You see, when you check stats, all our states are influenced in terms of accidents, especially fatal accidents. They are caused by drinking and driving, you see. But this, the city or the department, I feel that we are not responding enough to those challenges, you see.
If you can speak up, Commissioner.
Or I'm saying, I feel that we are not responding that. That's why officers are taking a decision, because you've already arrested the person, and you can't release him when you detain. When you have detained him. Once you detain him, you must proceed with the process, because once you leave him, it's an litigation. It's a lawsuit against the state. Then they become creative and go to these institutions. But the challenge again, I must mention that public hospitals, they are reluctant to assist us. It's not their mandate to just request them, but the problem is that in these processes, immediately after arrest, a sister must also come to court because he's the one that took the blood and talk about the processes. You see, we are officers. Ours is the question of arrest, of detaining, then leaving the suspect to police. But in court, they want to know the processes and procedures in terms of the blood, in terms of everything. And those people are expected that. That's why they're saying a registered sister. You see, but in public hospital, they're limited. They've got challenges. They will tell you, maybe we're having 6 or 7 hospitals. Especially, it's only one hospital that is always assisting us in the city of Ekurhuleni. But again, because we are close to the HOD HOD of that hospital. But it is a challenge. You see, public hospitals will tell you, no, our sisters will go to court for 2-3 weeks. You see, because you can't even determine, you can't even tell the magistrate, no, the person must go and work. That's a challenge that we're having. At least private, at least they assist and they're able to come and do. But even that one sister that we're having, again, when it goes to court for drinking and driving or driving under influence, that means you are not assisted within the department.
Okay. Commissioner, you mentioned that it's a bit of a challenge when it comes to public hospitals to use them because it sounds like there is a constraint of sorts with resources. Would a sister from a private hospital not be required to appear for a hearing similarly to a sister in a public hospital? I just want to, just for clarity. What would happen with private hospital staff when they have to testify in court?
Some they allow them. Most of them, they allow them to come. And you must also remember, private sisters and sisters are trained by one institution, the same institutions. As long as you are registered sister, you can take blood. See, whether you are from private or what, but as long as you are a registered sister. But there's no formal SOP, there's no formal standard operational procedure, there's no formal agreement that says this hospital can, you see. Officers, they become creative whilst they're operational.
Could you expand on that?
I'm saying officers, they become creative.
What do you mean by they become creative?
They go and talk to the private links, they go and talk to the hospital, say, we are having drinking and driving. Then from 6 to 7, may you please allocate one sister that will assist us, you see. But sometimes it happens randomly. When while driving, a person drives under influence, you stop, then go to rest because of these 2 hours. You can't drive from Davidton, you can't drive from Tembisa to Zonkeziso. Ekurhuleni is too big. You can't drive. If the sister is in Tembisa, currently the sister that we're having, she's at the northern region, Tembisa. Then you can't drive from the southern part of Ekurhuleni, Zonkeziso. Oh, you can't drive from Zonkeziso, it's the southern part to the northern part. It's a challenge. But again, you also mentioned the issues of the hospital, that they are having challenges. They've got limited numbers of sisters. Again, these 2 weeks, 1 week to court, it becomes one of the challenges.
Yes, I guess the question that I am posing to you, Commissioner, is what happens in the instance? I appreciate that you can go to various hospitals, and the main challenge that you have highlighted in your evidence regarding public hospitals is that they are reluctant to draw bloods because the minute they draw blood, they will then be compelled, they're basically part of the evidence chain. They are compelled to go to court and give evidence on that particular suspect, as you have mentioned, you know, in the running of their case. What do private hospitals, what do the nurses at the private hospitals do? So they attend and they've got no problems. Is that what you are?
Yes, no,
is that your evidence?
Yes,
I'm just trying to understand.
Yes, they allow them. They allow
Okay.
them, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, as I've said, sometimes in the planned operations, at least they arrange with them prior. But in other circumstances where you just drive and see a drunken driving, you go there, they attend, they do allow them.
Okay. We are now at paragraph 32 of your statement. And the evidence that you have just read is confirmed by paragraph 32. You may then proceed regarding your relationship. Just to put a marker, what you have told us is that you've given evidence that it is the MPT members that introduced you to Mr. Mike van Wyk. We know that Mr. Mike van Wyk owns a hospital called Medicare 24 Clinic. We know that he's also looking to develop a relationship with EMPD and would like to put a proposal forward to which you pointed him to the correct people that would be able, or correct officials that would be able to assist him in respect of the proposal that he wants to put there. You also mentioned COVID-19, but you haven't actually expanded on COVID-19. What do you mean that there was COVID-19? Yes, we do know that we came from a period where we had that dreadful virus. Would you like to expand what that means in relation to EMPD and Mike van Wyk?
Yes. Thank you, Madam. Part of the engagement, he said to us, I can also assist you. Of which the commitment that he executed, he did. I can also assist you with members that don't have medical aid in terms of testing and in terms of giving them treatment. Those that are affected or infected by COVID-19, you see. And the members did go to him. It's just that it's a health issue, can't ask private things and everything. But I know that some of the members, they were assisted there. Not even ordinary members, senior members too. They were in there in terms of COVID. He assisted them with tablets, testing, all these processes of COVID-19.
Just to place things in context, has Mike at this point had a meeting, because you said there was no SOP, but has Mike had a meeting regarding his proposal at that point? On what basis was he wanting to make this arrangement for people to come and test and use his facilities? Was there any type of relationship with Mike at that point? When I say relationship with Mike, between EMPD and Mike. Mike van Wyk.
Thank you, Advocate. After he had a meeting with CSMT at all these meetings, he crafted a proposal, a memorandum of understanding proposal that he presented, or he sent to me, sent to the Office of the Chief of Police through the project manager. Whilst we were still waiting for those processes, we engaged him on that thing again. But whilst we were waiting for formal relations or that memorandum of understanding, that was submitted around, it was around October, if I'm not mistaken, you see.
Okay.
But this one of assistance, it was not in 2020. It was in the second COVID, in 2021. You see, remember, in 2020, I was not around, I was sick and everything. Then we started to know him late 2020. Then 2021, that's where we engaged again when this COVID was starting. He said, no, but I will also assist you in this and this and this in terms of COVID. But there was no relations because we were still waiting for the engagement and the finalization of what he has submitted by that time. And COVID took us around winter 2021. June, July, I think it started there.
In Mike's proposal, who was this intended for? The service for COVID-19 testing?
For EMPD.
So
officers.
EMPD as a whole,
yes,
not
EMPD.
only the trainees?
No. EMPD training is a different one.
Okay.
It's EMPD. The training is 2021 to 22. I will talk to it. It's a separate thing.
Okay. Yes. And was there any consideration for this? What I mean by that is, was there any payment required for the services that Mike was looking to give the city in respect of testing for drinking and driving and providing his nurses whenever they need to go to court, as well as the testing that he was going to be doing for COVID-19?
Thank you, Advocate. All his costs Sorry, all his services were at not cost to the council. There was no cost.
No cost?
Yes, sir.
So he was coming in free of charge, and he was
yes.
just opening up his hospital and,
Yes.
you know, okay. And that leads me to the next paragraph at 36. If you can read that into the record.
Finally, you said I must read. Let me read it. It's page 12, paragraph 36.
Yes.
Finally, in 2021, 2022, let me say late 2021, 2022, Mark van Wyk further assisted the MP, the Metro Police trainees, we call them cadets, but we can say trainings, with making copies of exam past papers, preparing for exam at no additional cost to the city, using his photocopying machines as well as his own edition, as well as his own paper at the clinic. Oh, there's a paragraph that's a jump. Or exam at no cost or at no additional cost to the city, using his photocopying machine as well as his own paper at the clinic. I'm informed that it cost Mike an amount of around 300,000. That's what he told us, that after assisting us in terms of, after assisting the training division, the students with photocopying, it was photocopying, binding of document. Then it cost 300,000 to provide the service. This service was initiated after the trainees complained using various platforms, including the media, political parties, even to myself and Director Kwabe, who was in charge of training. The complaint related to duration. They started at the college, which was more than 2 years. They felt the department was doing nothing. 2019, we had recruitment. We had to recruit 500 students. Then they were supposed to be there for 12 months, but because of COVID, they couldn't finish at the college. Everything was closed. Then they had to come back when everything was open, and they continued. But around 2021, they felt, no, it's more than 2 years. We're supposed to be here for 12 months. And by then, the city had challenges, serious financial challenges. We had no photocopies, we had nothing. There's a copy there where there's a communication within the department that says for licensing, when you come in for your renewal and other things, we had put some placards to inform members of public that we don't have papers for photo. It affected the city in terms of resources, in terms of everything. Then again, when Director Kwabe, he was responsible for training college, approached me. I had now communicated with Mike. I said, no, man, let's go and communicate with Mike. Because in that clinic, I saw, when we approached him, I saw big machines at the clinic, a lot of papers. I don't know how to, these RAM papers, I don't know how to call them. Yes. Then he said, no, but it's fine, I will assist you. But I can't assist you with anything that's finance. I will assist you with equipment and the papers, I do have them. Then again, he assisted, there was a staff, I know that he delegated a staff that was working with college people, you see. It was them and Mike and the director of training that were dealing with those things. But they were assisted. Students were able to.
Okay. Approximately how many students did you have at the college?
It was more than 500. It's 500 and something students that were recruited. It was the largest number that we had in the city of Ekurhuleni, who were recruited by that time.
Okay. So at this point, what we know is that you've met Mike, and you've met him through the trainees, and Mike has stepped into EMPD with no contractual relationship. He was in talks regarding a proposal that he had to work with the city, but there was nothing in place at that point. But he's spending money on EMPD, up to about 300,000 to make photocopies in preparation for exams. Do you think that Mike had become some type of guardian angel at the EMPD? Mr. Mike van Wyk.
No, thank you, Advocate. I can't say a guardian angel, but he assisted.
But he was providing free services to the EMPD?
He did that, madam. He did that, yes.
Okay. And at paragraph 35, if you can then just read that into the record.
Following the introduction, sorry, humble apologies. Following the introduction with Mr. Mike van Wyk, I informed Deputy Chief of Police Mzolo, whom my line manager at the time regarding Medicaid 24 clinic proposal. On or about the late 2020, Mr. Mike presented his proposal to senior management of the city. I was not present at the presentation because I did not form part of the senior executive of the city.
Okay.
Must I continue?
No, that's perfect, thanks. Just lastly on Mr. van Wyk, how did you come, you've told us how you came to know him, but how long had you known him at this point when he was providing these free services through you? Because it seems that you were the contact person. You were not responsible, you've testified that you were not responsible for training. Commissioner Dwabe was, well, Director Dwabe at the time. Director Dwabe was responsible for training, and it is you that Director Dwabe came to. He approached you to say, what are we going to do about these students who don't have copies of past papers? And your immediate thought and solution had to do with Mr. Mike van Wyk. So it was you who had now developed a relationship with Mr. van Wyk. How long had you known him at this point?
No, from 2020, from late 2020, it was a year. Remember, we approached him late 2021 for exam that was supposed to see 2021, 2022. It was a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also testified that there was no contract between EMPD and Mr. van Wyk or Medicare 24 clinic at the time. So what was the nature of your relationship?
I think it was ordinary, like, I don't know how to explain it. But every time when we want to meet with him, we'll meet with Mike, discuss issues. But also his clinic was around the city of Ekurhuleni, you see. I think that's why he decided to assist, and he's passionate about us as police and this thing. And we'll keep on referring that, no, society must take care of police. Society must make sure that police are being cared of, all those things. But the relationship was not that close by that time. See, but I must say that even when the memorandum of understanding was not, we didn't respond to him formally, we didn't respond to anything. But he continued to have this relationship with us, communicating and doing everything. Okay. There was constant communication, let me say, because my office Boksburg, our members of specialized unit were reporting at Boksburg. His medical care clinic was in Boksburg.
Okay. You refer to a memorandum of understanding. Would you like to expand on that?
It becomes a challenge because I don't have it here, but as I've said that there was this request, there was this proposal that is presented to us. He presented to us, it was sent to me, the office of the chief of police, through his PA, through his project manager. You see, there's a date, there's one of annexures here, which are having dates and everything. I'm not sure in terms
if you can turn to paragraph 53 of your statement.
Paragraph 53, ne? But that memorandum of understanding had everything that I spoke about.
So
Yes.
at this point, Mr. Mike van Wyk has approached the city and he has presented his proposal before the relevant people within the city. Would you like to read in paragraph 53?
Thank you, Advocate. It reads as follows. In respect of city's engagement with Medicare Clinic, Boksburg, particular, the proposed memorandum of understanding, proper communication were done internally within the department line of, within the department, the line of processes and procedures were followed. Mr. Mike Van Veet regarding Medicare proposal, Medicare 21st proposal. In this instance, it's through the chief's project manager, Superintendent Jamin Fortin. To that end, I attach an email communication from Chief Personal Assistant Diesel Tyres submitted to the Chief of Police, where she confirms that on the 24th of October 2021, a meeting took place between Mark Van Veek, the Office of the Chief of Police, and me. It was surprising to receive a letter that there was an investigation.
That's fine. If you can just then maybe turn to the annexure JDM 13.
Madam, it's supposed to say there was communication. Let's correct it. Not a meeting, you can see it physically.
Oh, you prefer not to say meeting, you prefer to say
Yes.
communication?
Communication, yes.
If you turn to JDM 13, I don't know if we've got the same bundle. Is this bundle here? You're getting some assistance.
It's not it.
It's okay.
Oh, it's
No, just,
on top.
please refer to the bundle that you have. Yes, just the right, yes, the next page after that blue one. 13. JDM 13. What is that document?
It's the document that is coming from Chief of Police PA that confirms that they receive a communique
Okay.
from Mike Van Veek and Jamin Fortin.
And that confirms that it was not a meeting, it was in fact an email.
Yes, communication email, yes.
Okay.
It confirms what I've said.
So that meeting, well, that communication did take place
Yes.
between Mr. Van Veek.
Yes.
But you testified earlier that at that time, when Mr. Van Veek assisted the trainees, you had known him for approximately a year, and your relationship was not yet that close. Did your relationship then develop thereafter to one of closeness?
Yes, because I approached him again with other things, you see, but I'm also going to talk to that.
You can mention those things.
Yeah, the one that when the city had a State of the City address, you see, he was close to the owner of Cat Security, you see. You want me to start talking about that?
Yes, you may.
Yeah.
If I can actually then just point you to paragraph 48 of your statement. That is at page 15.
Paragraph
48, 47.
from age, introduction to relations with Vusimuzi Matlala. I first learned, must I read it?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I first learned about Vusimuzi Matlala shortly after meeting Mr. Mike Van Veek on or about 2021. I had seen a picture of him hung at the offices of Medicaid Clinic. As a result, I became aware that he was one of the directors at Medicaid Clinic in Boxburg. Once I met him, we developed the professional.
Yes, you may continue.
Yes. There's a paragraph that is supposed to be in, but it's fine, I will explain it.
Okay.
Once I met him, we developed a professional rapport similar to the collegial interaction I maintain with others in the security agencies. Whilst Mr. Matlala is a co-director and Medicare 24 clinic, he also owns a security company, CAT VIP Security Company. Our communication initially began on common ground with with our shared responsibilities within broader community safety environment where collaboration is essential to effectively safeguard communities' proposal and provincial personnel. At the time of the meeting, I occupied.
If you can just ask a question. Please elaborate on the nature of the professional rapport that you developed with Mr. Vusimuzi Matlala,
Yes, that's why I've said this.
particularly how it evolved to the point where he became like a brother to you.
Yes, that's why I've said there's a paragraph that was supposed to be there, but I can talk to that. I was approached by my members of intervention unit. Remember, with Mike, it was community-liaison unit members that they are always at the shooting range with former task force members. You see, training, and they're good guys. You see, they prefer to work with them. But whilst we're having that discussion, we had the state of the city that is coming.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Mkhwanazi, you said whilst you were having that discussion, a discussion with whom?
With my members.
With your members?
Intervention
Yes.
members.
So again, it was your members that
Yes.
introduced you to Mr. Matlala?
No.
They had a discussion with
no,
you?
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming there. Yes, that's why I said there's a paragraph that was supposed to be there. You see, then they said.
You can explain and give your evidence because you are sworn in. The paragraph that you say has
Yes.
been omitted. You
Okay.
can speak to that paragraph.
Thank you, Advocate. You see, they said they are training with these members tactical when they are privately training, or they are trying to sharp their skills, improving their skills in terms of shooting, tactical responding, everything. Then they said that these guys that are, they are always training with them, but these guys are no longer working for SAPS. They are good guys. They are working for a private company. They explained that private company, and they said the owner of that private company is also part of Medicaid 24. You see, then we went and met Mike. You see.
Before you proceed, just for the basis, the sake of clarity, the team that was having a discussion or was at the range with the guys that you mentioned, is that an EMPD team?
Yes.
And which team is that?
Intervention unit.
Intervention unit, and it falls under?
It falls under specialized services.
Under specialized services,
Yes,
under?
it's our tactical team. They are trusted in terms of responding where there are CITs, serious crimes that are taking place, or crimes that are related to, let me say, serious crimes or violent crimes that are involved with firearms and everything.
And where was this team?
They're based in Boksburg.
Yes, they're in Boksburg, but
yes.
where were they seeing the
No, in
men you were
private shooting
mentioning?
ranges.
A private shooting range.
Remember, over the weekend or after hours, they go and some of them shooting spot to them. That's what they do.
And they go as a group within an MP, they go like, as a group
Some they form teams, they go
Okay.
because we encourage them to do that.
Okay.
Because they work together. You must know the colleague that you work with in terms of shooting skills, in terms of responding, in terms of your adrenaline when there's shootings and everything. That's why we always pair them and say, when you go for shooting, make sure that you take your partner too, because so that we don't get surprised when there's a shooting and individual runs away whilst you are busy engaging, fighting. That's how we train them to do. But they go there as teams. Some of them, they are with those private people. They are having teams that they compete on weekends. I know that on weekends these teams they compete. It's like your sports. It's like your teams in sport. They're doing that on daily basis or on weekly basis. Advocate.
When they go to the shooting range, these private shooting ranges that you mentioned, is this a EMPD initiative or they are doing it out of their own personal interest as a hobby?
No.
And because you say you encourage them to go as teams, but is it an EMPD program, even though it's a private range, or is this you encouraging them to just hang out on the weekend? I'm trying to understand the context.
No, it's on their own. They use their own money, buying their own ammunition.
Okay.
Yes.
So whilst this team was out, at this private shooting range, and they just so happened that they went together with other workers, they met, you were still, that's the point at which you were at. Who did they meet?
As I said, they met the guys that were working for SAPS, but now they're working for a private security company.
Okay, they met guys who work for a private company. Yes, okay.
Which is the CAT. I'm not sure that time they mentioned, yes, they mentioned the CAT. Private security, VIP private it's the CAT VIP private security company.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
Yes. Then, they even mentioned the owner. It's owned by Mr. Matlala. But that time I didn't know him, you see. But when I went, as I've said earlier on, that he's the co-owner who is working with Mike at Medical Clinic Boxback, as I mentioned before. Then I went in, as I've said in my statement, so that when
Mr. Mkhwanazi, you're moving slightly faster than I am able to hear and write. You led evidence, you just testified that at the time that the team from intervention unit went to this private range, they met guys from a security company. That security company happened to be CAT VIP. It's quite important that we take this slowly.
Yes.
And they told you that they work for Mr. Matlala. And you did not know Mr. Matlala at the time.
Yes.
But then you also knew Mr. Matlala was working with Mr. Van Wyk.
No, I've said they mentioned.
They mentioned.
Yes,
Oh, so the same
yes.
intervention unit tells you that
Yes,
these guys work for
yes.
Mr. Matlala. It
Yes.
so happens that Mr. Matlala is also a co-director
Yes.
at Medicare 24.
Yes.
And who works with the same Mr. Van Wyk that you'd already been in communication with?
Yes.
I'm just trying to understand the sequence of
No,
events.
you're correct. You're
Yes.
correct,
You
yes.
may actually say it the way
Yeah.
that you would like to say. I don't want to put words. I'm trying to understand.
You have summarized it correctly. Yes.
Okay.
And as I've said that in my statement, when you enter at Medicare 24, there are plus minus 6 or 8 photos there of all the directors there.
And of course, the suspended Ekurhuleni Deputy Chief of Police, Julius Mkhwanazi, appearing before the ad hoc committee in Parliament today. The ad hoc committee investigating allegations of criminal infiltration, corruption and political interference in the criminal justice system. Well, there's a lot more to come from there, because if you missed Commissioner Mkhwanazi at the Madlanga Commission, you'll be able to pick up on some of what was said here. And you'll remember Witness D, who was unfortunately shot and killed in December. He actually mentioned Mkhwanazi, that's Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi, who was on the scene and where there was a murder that took place, and he actually alleged that it was Mkhwanazi who gave the order for him, that was Witness D, to dump the body of the person who they had allegedly accidentally or killed, or whatever happened there. These are all some of the details that still need to be ventilated. But that's where we're going to leave it for this afternoon. Thank you so much to the production team, and of course everybody who's been listening and engaging with us. It's time now for us to say goodbye, but of course we will have your news at 1 on the other side of this with Onde Lambana.
Are we ready for a real conversation? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. SAFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. PO Box 142365. Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za.
Top stories at 1. Suspended EMPD's Mkhwanazi is before Parliament and case postponed in the Vanderbilt Park accident. Good afternoon, I'm Kolofelo, therefore. Suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi has started to testify before Parliament's ad hoc committee. He's accused of having links to alleged criminal cartel Vusmusi Ket Matlala and fitting blue lights to his vehicles. The committee is looking into allegations of criminal infiltration of the justice system. Commissioner Mkhwanazi has taken the committee through his academic qualifications. Advocate Bongiwe Mkhize is leading his evidence.
At paragraph 13, you show that you've furthered your studies. Can you take us through that?
Yes, academically, I did the postgraduate in public management. Again, I did masters in public management. It's different from the skills development. Now it's the academical one.
And where did you obtain your diploma and your master's?
Regenesis Business School, but I also attended some courses with VETS and University of Western Cape. But I obtained my master's with Regenesis Business School.
In the courts, the matter of the scholar transport driver who crashed into a truck in Vanderbilt Park, south of Johannesburg on Monday, has been postponed to March the 5th in a local magistrate's court. 22-year-old Ayandla Dludla is now facing 14 counts of murder, 3 of attempted murder, driving without a valid permit, and operating an unlicensed vehicle. This follows the deaths of 12 learners in the crash. Dludla was previously charged with culpable homicide. National Prosecuting Authorities spokesperson Lumka Mahanjana says they have enough evidence to charge Dludla with murder.
We found that we have prima facie evidence to prefer murder charges against the accused. Hence, he is now facing 14 counts of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and 3 other counts of charges related to contravention the Trafficking Act. You must understand that this incident happened this week, so there's still a lot of investigations that the state needs to be finalized. There is still witness statements that still need to be taken. There's forensics that still need to get their results. So hence then the matter is postponed to the 5th of March for further investigation.
Families whose houses were destroyed following heavy rains which caused recent floods at Mbaula village outside Giyane in Limpopo are complaining about their living conditions. They are accommodated in 2 churches in conditions of overcrowding, which they say could be a source of diseases.
We would like to be assisted with a place to stay. It is crowded here. There is no place to bath. When we have to bath, we have to go one after the other. There is nothing and there is no privacy here. The condition here is not good. We are many. There are learners that we are staying with. Learners can't study. It's noisy. It's not conducive for everyone, especially young children that are staying with us.
Western Cape Premier Alan Winde says they've submitted 2 requests to the National Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister for a provincial disaster declaration. This is to respond to the water and wildfires crisis. Winde says the water situation remains a serious concern in Knysna, Langeberg and Beto. He told the media in Cape Town that a declaration would enable the province to redirect funds and resources to manage the situation.
The first declaration is around water. We have a number of towns that are definitely in that disaster space where they themselves are also calling for a local disaster. Now we'll be calling for a provincial disaster. Primarily I think of Knysna, where they're getting down to days worth of water. Other towns in the region also you can see under huge pressure in the Gardenreach, under huge pressure in the Karoo.
CAM has returned to the Eddington Primary School in Durban after lobby groups embarked on a chaotic protest yesterday. They include March and March, Operation Dudula and the Umkhonto Wesizwe Party. They protested outside the school over the admission of children of foreign nationals. March and March leader Jacinta Ngobese Zuma says the protest is suspended for today. She says they are reviewing the figures of learners still requiring school placements. The KwaZulu-Natal Department of Education has urged parents still seeking to enroll their children to contact local officers. And finally, further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump says a possible deal covering the future of Greenland will achieve everything he wants. His comments came after withdrawing threats to levy further tariffs on European allies who oppose his desire to own the autonomous Danish island. In response, Denmark says it wants to have a constructive dialogue while respecting its territorial integrity. The BBC's Peter Bowes reports.
It probably isn't over yet, because even President Trump, by his standards, I think is still being quite coy in terms of what he has agreed with NATO over Greenland, because it's been such a huge about turn that he's made on a couple of fronts. One, the threat of tariffs against European countries that would have started next month. They have gone. That threat of punitive tariffs has gone away. And also Donald Trump's aspiration, seemingly, of owning Greenland.
The top story at 1, back home, suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi has started to testify before Parliament's ad hoc committee. He's accused of having links to alleged criminal cartel Vusmusi Ketmatlala and fitting blue lights to his vehicles. Headlines at 1:30 for SAFM News. I'm Kolofelo Defo.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Get Barter school shoes at Spar for 75 Rand when you spend 350 Rand or more and swipe your rewards card. Buy 2 kg Sunlight hand wash powder for 54.99 plus 150 megs free data on Spar Mobile. Or 2-litre Coca-Cola regular only. Buy 2 for 44 Rand plus 100 megs free data on Spar Mobile. Price is valid from 20 Jan till 8 Feb while stocks last. Only at Spar. T's and C's apply.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion, because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a Clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. Easy to apply, no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
I don't love going to school. I don't love sitting in a classroom with 50 other children. But I do love learning. Yakuthanda ukufunda isiXhosa as a language. I do love getting good grades. I do love UCT Online High School because I do love my future. Apply online before the 26th of January.
You won't believe how much money Outsurance saves 40-year-old Rafiq on his car insurance.
I saved so much money. 89. That's not small change. It's more than 50% that I saved from my previous insurer.
That's an impressive saving on Rafiq's 2017 Nissan Navara 4x4. And after 3 claim-free years, he gets an out bonus. How much money could Outsurance save you? SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754. Licensed insuring FSP. TCs and information online.
For 90 years, one voice has informed, challenged, and connected a nation. SAFM, South Africa's national English public radio station. Established in 1936 as the SABC's very first service, the A program, evolving through the English service, Radio South Africa, to SAFM in 1995, shaping thought and strengthening democracy. From a full-spectrum station to a trusted home of news and talk, SAFM continues to lead the conversations 90 years strong. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
I don't love going to school. I don't love sitting in a classroom with 50 other children. But I do love learning. Yakuthanda ukufunda isiXhosa as a language. I do love getting good grades. I do love UCT Online High School because I do love my future. Apply online before the 26th of January.
SAFM is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental dispute, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Have you discovered the TV license WhatsApp yet? We see you binging reruns, living for the drama, loving the SABC Plus sports replays. Now, paying your TV license fits the vibe. Simply say hi on WhatsApp to 077 6069 060. Get your balance, make a payment, or set up a debit order all in one chat. No queues, no please hold, just convenience that feels like it should have been here all along. Because every screen in South Africa is a stage and yours is lit. So why wait? Send hi on WhatsApp to 077 6069 060 and get your TV license sorted today. Hashtag your screen, your story.
This is Lungi on any other regular day.
This economy makes me post once a day. Who does that? Like, ew.
Now this is Lungi getting extra with the 20 gig summer deal for just 99 Rand.
I have so many gigs. I could even have a gig, guys. I'm going live every single day to me because get friends.
Extra your summer. Get 20 gigs plus 2 months free YouTube Premium and 100 Vodabucks. Exclusively on the VodaPay app. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee live on SAFM.
It's just gone 1:10 on this fine Thursday afternoon. Before we jump back into that ad hoc committee, it is, of course, the voice of myself, Bridget Masinga. Technically, it's supposed to be the full circle between 1 and 3, but we are moving in accordance to that live broadcast coming out of Cape Town. And since this entire inquiry into the dealings, the corruptions and allegations at SAPS, we have met characters and we have met characters. And today, one such character returns to face the public by and large by his appearance for the third time. Parliament's ad hoc committee. Suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi is testifying in Cape Town before the parliamentarians, and he's expected to shed more light on his relationship with alleged criminal cartel kingpin, otherwise known as Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. He's also accused of signing 2 memoranda of understanding with Matlala's companies and fitting blue lights to his vehicles. And no doubt other matters will also be explored during that session, other issues that came up during his sitting at the Madlanga Commission. Let's go back to Cape Town and we'll play it by ear as to when they break, and then when we come back and bring you some of our regular programming.
I was not part of the plenary meeting, and he was not part of the plenary meeting. He decided in a plenary meeting, send a senior person to sit in a plenary meeting, and I don't sit in that plenary meeting. Okay. It's operational people that are going to run the operation physically that sit in that meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, but with the meeting that we had before, the introduction meeting, it's where he made commitments that no, I'm going to assist.
No,
it was early 2002.
I understand, Commissioner Mkhwanazi. Thank you. What I'm still interested in your statement is this closeness in relationship, this brotherly relationship as you describe it. And I'm trying to understand what actually informed it. What are the shared interactions that you speak about, which I've been sitting now next to Chief Whip for the past week, and I'm uncertain that I can say we have a close brotherly. Maybe perhaps because we come from the same tribe, perhaps that's the shade at the moment. And the fact that we are part of this committee, I'm uncertain. I don't wish to turn the evidence to myself, but I'm just trying to understand how did it evolve? Your relationship. You tell us it evolved. You initially met looking for assistance in terms of your intervention unit, which was very impressed by Kat Matlala's security, at the shooting range. But you also then go on to say that this relationship developed. You had shared experiences, and I'm just trying to understand, how did this relationship evolve to that?
No.
You have testified that you exchanged numbers. You spoke about work, at some point, but how did it? So you can just tell us.
And we were meeting, not only on the phone, but as I've said, that it was early 2002. By that time, we were planning. Our focus was on the state of the city. You see, not on other things. You see, on the state of the city that he has assisted and committed. You see, but after the state of the city, after April, that's where we started to communicate and discuss about other issues, personal things, and all those things, you see. After that, after the state of the city, you see, it was no longer about issues of work and everything, because we saw that there are no more relations that are going to take place when it comes to work and other things, you see. That's why we discuss personal things, other things, you see. As I've said, that at Matlanga, that I used to sit with him, discuss, he will raise issues, national issues, but he doesn't discuss politics and other things. He will discuss issues of mind, of business, you see, and check with you that day, is there anything that is coming in that is related to the work that we are doing and other things, you see. But the work that I'm doing, with the work that he's doing, it was clinics and what. He was no longer discussing about CAT, VIP and other things.
Okay.
And he will tell me that I met this people, I was in this meeting, in that meeting, but the issues of him and his business, that are not there. But around those times, I had the challenge of where I had funerals. I lost my siblings, you see.
Perhaps you can also give timelines. I'm really sorry that you lost your siblings.
It was late, mid 2022, towards the end of the year, you see.
May 22?
Mid.
Can we take Honorable Shongwe?
Thank you, Chair. The mayor you are talking about, Mayor and this associates Tata who cared to introduce to that mayor, who were those people? Names? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Alderman Tanya Kemben. But she didn't meet with Ovus. We met with the senior team office in Lake.
And which organization?
DA.
Okay.
Yeah, remember, it was now the DA and EFF collusion that were in charge for the city.
So, but who was he meeting?
No.
Who were they meeting?
Oh, we met the staff at her office.
The staff of the mayor.
Yes.
So they never met with the mayor.
No.
At all.
No, Vus and the mayor, they never met.
Okay.
No, they never.
DA, but you said.
Yeah. Well, I met the mayor after the event. Matlala and everything, they were not part of that meeting.
DA, you said though. DA.
Democratic Alliance, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Who was the senior person in the office of the mayor who was present in that meeting?
Yes. They've changed. But can I get their names? I'll provide. Just that I forgot their names. It's two ladies and no, it's four. It's two ladies, one black guy and one white guy. But I don't have to mention them according to their colors. But it's two males and two females.
Was the mayor aware of that meeting?
Yeah, it's a plenary meeting. He always do that. It's a plenary meeting. I don't know, did they brief her and what? Because we brief them, we meet with them. It is them that brief the executive mayor. Unless he feels that, unless the mayor feels or she feels that the serious stress issue wants to meet us physical, all of us, and finalize issues. But they never met with Matlala. No, the mayor never met with him.
Honorable Skosana.
Ngikuthokoze mgcini sihlalo. Ukhomishana Mkhwanazi akakwazi ukuthi akakwazi angeke asinikele amagama. Amagama siyawafuna. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi asikwazi ukukhuluma singazi ukuthi bobani labo njengoba umbuzo ukuthi from chair njengoba uthi no awukwazi ukusinikela nje or uzosinikela lada.
No, ngithi ngwakhohle ngizowathola.
Oh, sithokoze.
Hani ngizowathola fanele niwathole to confirm.
Okay. Yeah, let's proceed, Advocate Mkiza, until 1:30.
Commissioner Mkhwanazi, if you can read in paragraph 49.
Yes, man. Yes, Advocate. From time to time, Mr. Matala sought clarity on matters such as clinics and respective mandate of provincial local government. And as I mentioned to Mr. Van Wyk, I also explained to Mr. Matala that these responsibilities fall under the provincial mandate, with the city focusing primarily on management functions. Additionally, we also discussed broader social matters, training needs for both teams, tactical close protection due to the skill that his team possessed, identified, and need that may potentially benefit our tactical teams. He inquired about privatization of VIP. I did tell him that EMPD VIP is sourced internally.
Okay. You mentioned that it was part of the discussions, the broader discussions that you had with Mr. Matlala had to do with training needs for both teams of tactical close protection officers. What type of protection needs or training needs was he offering, Mr. Matlala? What was he offering the EMPD?
Oh, thank you, Advocate. Remember, my team has already communicated with me that these guys are highly skilled. These guys are good. These guys are from SAPS task force, from the army, you see, and the training that they always have with them, you see. Then
perhaps, Commissioner Mkhwanazi, you could describe in detail the specific skills or expertise that his team possessed that you identify as beneficial for your tactical team at EMPD. If you could just maybe describe what you mean, and not just leave it broadly as highly skilled, for the particularly for the sake of the committee, so that they can understand what kind of unique skills these.
Yes, our SWAT team deals with, as I've said, that they respond to criminals that are having high caliber firearms.
Okay.
Our intervention team.
So, yes, I just wanted to, for the purpose of clarity, you had initially testified about the intervention tactical team. So the intervention team, the other name for it is SWAT team.
Let's say intervention team.
Intervention team.
Yes, yes.
But if you do happen to mention it, we should take it as you mean the intervention team.
Yeah.
If you happen to mention SWAT again, okay.
Yes.
Okay, you may continue.
And part of those, or part of their daily work when they approach suspect is house penetration. There's a way you approach an armed suspect, a gang, or an individual that you are arresting for drunk and driving, other things. House penetration, it needs you to be skilled, it needs certain tactics. When you penetrate, or when you enter the house, I want to use the wording that is simple. When you penetrate the house, from the yard, from the gate, the way you deploy, you see, don't deploy like, hey, it's a power, you see. No, that is different. And the type of weapons that you use, you see, it's those tactical skills. The way you approach criminals that are doing CITs, when you respond to CIT, you don't respond to like normal robbery.
Perhaps you can.
Cash in transit.
Yes,
Cash in transit. It's different than the way you approach any other crimes, you see. I happen to be part of the trainings in terms of crowd management levels in Tabazimbi twice, where the task force is training. I know how they do train, how they do house penetration, how do they do all this technical training, and the way you shoot, the way you use type of firearms and everything. As I've said, that I attended those trainings, you see, and I've also identified the gap within. I agreed with them when they are saying that. I was very happy, in fact, when they're telling me that we are shooting with those guys privately, time to time, sharpening our skills and everything, you see. Those are the types of, you see. And again, the way they conduct them when they're doing their VIP protection and other things, you see. Remember, I've said that on the 30th of, in the state of the city, the deployment is tactically, and you could see that even when I was there at Swane, you see, when you approach, when you enter that office, the way they stand up, you could see the discipline within them, that it is within them, saluting and everything. You see, I said, no, we need to work on these things and work. But even him, he said, no, it's fine, we can do that, you see. Because to be honest, I must mention it. I know that I mentioned again at Mandla that those guys are skilled. They say, why are you saying that? They're highly skilled, they're skilled. The way a well-trained officer and an officer, they walk, you can tell. We always say you dress by the left as, you see, or the army, you see. And they still maintain that discipline when they walk and everything. The way they approach something, that's why you see discipline and everything.
Okay.
You see, even though I was are you sure they are not gangsters? I said, no, you can tell, you see.
So
and that's what I wanted. That's why we wanted to take our level. Because, again, one of the challenges...
You mentioned that you could, I'm really sorry to interject. You mentioned that you can just see that they are highly skilled.
Yes,
perhaps because we were not there with you and we may not have the same appreciation. Perhaps you can elaborate on what you mean, describe what you mean by what can you see? How can I identify that Chief Whip perhaps was once a skilled, tactical...
Thank you, madam. Your posture when you are standing.
Security person.
Your posture when you are standing, saluting, walking, approaching a senior person, you see. An ordinary protector or somebody that has been recruited in the street, when a senior person is coming in, they just look. But a trained officer, even if he's working in the private security, he will address and call you by your rank. That's why you say, oh, it's a lady. You see, that's how I saw. And they don't sit before you sit. Can come in, they will wait up until the person that you visited to, up until the person that you're approaching sits, and that's where they sit. And again, the way they sit, even here when they see those people at the train, they don't sit like any other person. They deploy themselves. They sit in. You see, those things, just look and say, no. This it's a good team. And those skills, and that's what we want to see in all your teams. We are saying our teams are doing that, but every time we need to sharpen and up the level of discipline, the way we do things.
Okay. You also mentioned at paragraph 49 that you read in that, Mr. Matlala also had sought clarity on certain matters such as clinics and respective mandates. Can you explain the specific context in which these questions arose and what impact your clarification had on his understanding of the actions?
As I've said, that he's a person who doesn't discuss politics and he discusses business, you see. He wanted to know that since the clinics are going to province, are we going to sell the buildings? Who's going to occupy the buildings? Can they have working relations with the buildings? And again, who's going to be responsible and be charged for those clinics in the province or nationally? How do they work with? I said, no. I don't have a clue on that because it's a different department. In fact, I don't even follow that. But I know that the mandate of the clinics belongs to province. I'm a South African, I read newspapers, I read all these things. I'm aware about the changes that are taking place in the country. But as in exactly what is happening there, deep in that department, I don't know. Because even till today, those clinics are still with us as local government or as the city of Ekurhuleni. But by that time, I even thought that they're going within a month or two, you see.
So he came to you to seek clarity.
No.
And-
When we were discussing telephonically, but I said that I'm sure
Well,
that,
when I say he came to you, I don't mean literally. He contacted you, seeking clarity on matters such as clinics, but were you able to assist him?
no, ma'am. It's not within my department. It's not within the cities.
No,
I was not able. Let me say so.
Yes, I don't necessarily mean that it was within your department. So I'm trying to ascertain how your conversation went. Yes.
No, I was not, because I gave him that answer, that the mandate is not within us. As I've said, I thought even they're going within a month or two, they will be in the province.
Okay.
Because the city is suffering out of that. It's spending a lot of money. You see, I know when I'm sitting now as an HOD, you will hear that we're spending these millions and we're not giving money from, not getting money from province and all those things. You see. But to be honest, we wanted those guys. You know, if I had powers to hire and adjust money, we're going to steal those guys from him so that they join us and assist us in terms of the training. Because currently, anything that we need from SAPS, we're being charged. They are charging us for everything. See, now we are even challenged that you can't train crowd management, you can't train K9, you can't train VIP, you can't do anything, because any service that you must get from SAPS, they charge us like ordinary private people. Anything that, but when they need assistance from us, we give. But when we go to them, they charge us, they don't play.
Okay. Given that your relationship evolved from being one where you were discussing business, where he was, inquiring, seeking clarity on mandates regarding provincial and local government, and as well as other things, he according to you, he attended a plenary meeting. He inquired also again about the clinic, but your relationship at this point was now becoming quite close. It had evolved. How did you manage the potential conflict of interest?
No, madam, there was no conflict of interest then.
Well, what I mean by that, just to be a bit more specific, you are an employee at that point within EMPD. He's inquiring from you about EMPD matters, business, providing assistance for state of the city, providing VIP specifically. You said he raised issues regarding clinics. You also testified that he wanted to be part of the VIP. I'm assuming this is all within EMPD. Clinics would be for EMPD employees. VIP would be for the city of the state, which EMPD is a part of. Committing to assist would be also EMPD employees or trainees, or, but EMPD personnel. Introduction to the mayor's office, that is a structure under which EMPD falls under. But you are a EMPD employee. So were you not worried about the conflict of interest, because you're becoming quite close, your relationship is evolving, you were EMPD employee, he's not talking business in general, he's talking business in relation specifically to EMPD. Did it not maybe bother you? What were your thoughts? You can perhaps comment on that.
Advocate, EMPD is a public institution. Any information that I gave you,
Yeah, you can finish responding.
EMPD is a public.
I see the hand, Honorable Breitenbach. I will come to you.
Chair, no, please, I'm sorry, but don't tell him he can finish. I can't hear him.
Oh, you can't hear.
Mr. Makunazi is swallowing his words. When he answers the questions, he swallows his words.
Humble apologies. I'll raise my voice. I'm saying EMPD is a public institution. Any information that you wanted, any member can get it. You see, as long as you don't discuss how are we going to arrest you, how are we going to do this and this, but any other information that he wanted from us, it's an information that you can get. It is a public knowledge that the mandate of the clinic belongs to the province. You see, it is a public knowledge that EMPD. You can go to our website.
Thank you so much. We have now come to the end of the first session. How much time do we need to complete the presentation of evidence?
I think we're just going to deal with one more topic after this, and then it
Yeah.
should be open for questions.
What is the time you estimate?
1 hour.
Okay. Honorable Ngola and Honorable Sokanyile, you must be ready at 15 hours. Do you hear what I'm saying? You will be followed by Honorable Nomvalo and Honorable Shonga. May you please stand up in this order. I'm going to request honorable members to stand up now and leave the chambers. Come back at 2 o'clock, 14 hours. Can the honorable members stand up now and leave the chambers?
They really do keep us on our toes by way of the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee. As I said, beginning of the week, it's so difficult for us to properly plan out the schedule because the intervals at times come at unscheduled times or not really preempted times. They have just taken a recess and they will be back at 2 o'clock, giving you and I 25 minutes to cleanse the palate. Trying to see how much we can get through in that 25 minutes before we dive back into Cape Town, where the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi is currently testifying before Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee. We're going to play it by ear on our end, but there is also some mandatory programming that we do have to get through in this gap. So we beg your indulgence in as far as that is concerned. We're going to take a quick break and then we come back on the other side.
Are you looking for the best spectacle and sunglass deal? With Specsavers buy one, get one offer, you get great value for money. Get a free pair of branded single vision prescription sunglasses up to 3,300 Rand. When you purchase a comprehensive eye examination and spectacle frames with lenses on your first pair. The best part? Choose from top brands like Police, Hugo, Under Armour, Tommy Hilfiger, Red Bull Spect and more. Affordable eye care? Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
When you train for results, you don't quit halfway. Earn up to 7.35% interest with a Nedbank Just Invest account. Access your money within 24 hours. Keep your money agile. Get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. For more information, visit nedbank.co.za. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
SAFM Music. Good times, good memories.
I'm just like somebody
Old school sounding so good. SAFM Music with you wherever you go. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. As the nation seeks answers, SAFM brings you live, uninterrupted coverage of Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee investigating allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You can also stay up to date with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System. Stay informed, stay connected. Tune in live on SAFM 104 to 107 and follow the coverage across our digital platforms live on Facebook, X and YouTube at SAFM Radio. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. SAFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. PO Box 142365, Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za. Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
2 o'clock. That is the time check for today on this fine Thursday. It is the Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga, as we commence with some regular programming. Mpho Mulepo joins us now, actor, theatre director and co-founder of the Alex Theatre Company and Academy. And there's a call to prioritize community arts in South Africa through the National Community Arts Indaba. Good afternoon to you, Mpho. How are you doing on this fine Thursday?
Good afternoon, and how are you, Bridget?
I'm good. Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
So
the Alex Theatre Company and Academy, in partnership with the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, has been hosting the National Community Arts Indaba, which kicked off on Monday, the 19th of January, and it's wrapping up today in Johannesburg. Give us the context around this 4 days of discussion.
Oh, okay. No, thank you very much. So the National Department of Arts and Culture took out and commissioned us as Alex Theatre Company and Academy, firstly to do a research study on community art across the 9 provinces. So we started in July, and we traveled around the 9 provinces, meeting community art centers, trying to get what the issues are on the ground, what has been achieved over the last, since the dawn of democracy, and what are the challenges that they are facing. And this came through a program that the department supports, where they are supporting community art centers across all 9 provinces with funds for them to be able to create work in their particular community. And after we've completed that research, we then submitted the research to the department. And as a follow-up to that, we then now have to host an Indaba where all the issues identified in all the 9 provinces are now being discussed with delegates from all the provinces.
So, in part, the National Community Arts Indaba is designed as a reflective and a forward-looking platform. Talk to us firstly about, what came out of that research study across the 9 provinces, particularly by way of issues and challenges.
I think maybe just to look at few pointers that really what we found on the ground. One is an issue around policy, that there are no defined policy. The policy that exists is a draft that was done in 2013. So there's a need for policy guideline in terms of how community arts should be supported and survive. And the other issue that we've realized is that in terms of the support that they receive from the department, there is no standardized model on how the support must be distributed within the provinces. Each and every province run it in their own different way. But also there are issues of infrastructure, that in so many of the other communities in various provinces, there's literally no centers that are built for the arts. People are now practicing the arts in schools, in some dilapidated community hall, and all of that. Those conditions themselves that we observed when we traveled around the provinces is an issue for a further discussion even in this meeting. And also what we have understood is that in terms of coordination in provinces, there are federations, but are they coordinated? In some provinces, you do not even have those. Just to mention some of these few pointers that we had to look at this particular, and also on issues of training. That most of the training might not even be accredited, might just be an open training and all of that. So how do we then make sure that within communities we introduce formalized training, accredited training? So there were quite a lot of issues that the research identified, and they were then discussed at this INDAB.
And these really very pertinent issues when you talk about no defined policy guidelines in how community support should be, as well as no standardization in as far as the distribution and implementation of that support, let alone centers for where community arts can be undertaken. Interesting observation, because I feel as if the arts and culture sector has been echoing these cries for a number of years now. So what say the department, as one of the partners on this task, the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, what say they about a turnaround plan if they are to be looking into the immediate as well as into the future?
No, I guess generally there are quite a lot of issues, not just within community art centers, but also generally within the creative industry. There are quite a lot of issues. And some of those issues are also just embedded in policy guiding the sectors, but also on issues of regulation of the industry itself, you know. But I think, for me, there's a positivity out of from the department itself, because for them to embark on this process is to be able to help them that when they do their planning, they know what to address directly within the community art space, you know, and I guess that will happen with all the other sectors as we go along. But for me, this was really a very positive direction that they are taking in firstly investigating, identifying what are the issues, then creating an endeavor to try and resolve the issues that have been identified.
Considering that today is the final day of the Indaba Mpo, has there been conversation around formalizing declarations and resolutions today that will guide that future implementation?
Those are in discussion as we speak, and they will be finalized. And I hope, in the or whatever, we could be an opportunity we could be able to share the communities on what has been declared and recommended by all the artists that were here in this meeting.
Yeah, we'll leave it there for today, but we appreciate the time. Just as the network was starting to give us some issues, that was Mpho Molepo, who is an actor and theatre director and co-founder of the Alex Theatre Company and Academy, and of course in partnership with the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, they had been tasked to host the National Community Arts Indaba, which commenced on Monday and is wrapping up today, and it was 4 days of critical conversations looking at the past, present and future of community arts centers and the kinds of policies and as well as infrastructure that is required there, skills development, the roles of community arts centers within broader social, cultural and economic system, and identifying also any problems and gaps that needs to be plugged in order for this space to self-sustain. We are fast approaching 10 to 2 o'clock. We're doing things kind of ad hoc, fluidly at the moment whilst we wait for that parliamentary committee to come back. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to get some mandatory programming out of the way. We're going to get into our Kids Corner programming. We'll then play it by ear and see if they do come back at the proposed 2 o'clock after the news. So we'll play it by ear then and see if we go back to that live feed, or if they've not seated as yet, we might sneak in another conversation.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion, because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. Easy to apply, no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
There are routines we all love. Morning and night skincare routines, exercise routines, even new routines like meal prep, journaling, and chemo. That last one hit differently, didn't it? The truth is, over 99% of cervical cancer cases are linked to the human papillomavirus. So if you're a woman between 15 and 44, act now. Ask your healthcare provider about the HPV vaccine. This message was brought to you by MSD.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 105.1 FM in Johannesburg.
And welcome to Nali Bali. Did you know that stories are magical? They can take us on an adventure to far places, introduce us to amazing characters, teach us important lessons about life. Reading and listening to story helps us grow our imagination, learn new words, and understand the world better. When we enjoy stories, we become better thinkers, better learners, and even better friends. Stories can make us laugh, help us feel brave, and show us that anything is possible. The more we read and listen, the more we discover. So get ready, because today's story is filled with fun, excitement, and a little bit of magic, just like all great stories. Today's story is called A Way to Read, written by Hloniphani Ndlovu. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and dance! This is Sipho and his best friend Buhle. They love stories, especially stories about animals, insects, and birds. That's why they love reading outside in the shade of a baobab tree close to where they live. Sipho does all the reading while Buhle listens carefully to each story. You see, Buhle can't read. She cannot see the words because Buhle was born blind. Although she is blind, Buhle sees a beautiful world in her imagination, but instead of seeing colorful pictures, she uses sounds, smells, and a sense of touch to bring stories to life.
Sipho, can we please read one of the books about Buba the butterfly today?
Buhle asks. Then she continues.
I love those stories. I can imagine how beautiful butterflies must be with their soft wings and delicate legs.
Oh, of course. I'll read your story, Buhle. I mean, after all, I love those stories too.
Sipho replies,
Tiny Bell. She has some red too. Red is it's a strong color. I think it would taste like beetroot and smell like wood fire.
Sipho explains.
Then she must be a kind and happy butterfly.
Buhle says confidently. Sipho looks at her curiously and asks,
And may I ask, why do you say that?
Well, because pineapple has a light, sweet taste, and when people are kind to me, it makes me feel light and happy. Beetroot tastes strong like the ground when it's raising. It makes me feel safe from danger.
All right. Now stop asking questions, if you will. Buhle, please. And let's find out what happens next, okay?
Sipho smiles. He knows Buhle can sometimes be impatient, especially when she wants to hear the rest of the story.
What? Honestly, you were the one who started asking questions.
Sipho teases before he continues to read the story. At the end of the story, Buhle sighs.
Sipho, you know I appreciate when you read to me, but I really wish I could read too. It would be wonderful if I could read on my own. I would also love to write my own stories and read them to you.
She says. Sipho has heard Buhle say this before and he decided that he is going to do his best to make Buhle's wish come true. Today, Sipho is in his bus library to get another book to read to Buhle. But he also needs something else from Mr. Khumalo, who runs the bus library. Mr. Khumalo knows about all kinds of books.
Mr. Khumalo, could you please help me? You see, I need a book for my friend Buhle who can't see.
Sipho asks.
Well, what kind of stories does Buhle like?
Mr. Khumalo asks.
She loves stories about butterflies. We just finished a book about Booba, the butterfly.
Sipho answered. Mr. Khumalo smiles and say,
Wonderful! I have those Booba butterfly stories that everyone loves. Look at this one. You will both enjoy it. You can read it to her.
Mr. Khumalo, I don't mind reading to Buhle. But you see, the thing is, she really wants to read books on her own. And she also wants to write stories. Well, do you have any books for children who can't see, maybe?
Sipho asks.
I don't have any books like that at the moment, but let me see what I can do for you.
Mr. Khumalo replies kindly. It has been a week since Sipho last spoke to Mr. Khumalo. Buhle and Sipho are sitting in the shade of the baobab tree reading the last 4 of Booba books. Then Sipho's mom calls.
Sipho, they're here. Who's here, Sipho? What's going on?
Buhle asks, a bit confused.
For once, just don't ask so many questions and just come with me, Buhle.
Sipho laughs. He guides Buhle towards a beautiful library bus. It is not Mr. Khumalo's library bus, but he is there, standing next to a woman wearing spectacles.
Hello, Buhle and Sipho. I'm Miss Moyo. I hear you two like stories about Booba. I like those stories too.
Miss Moyo says. Then she turns to Buhle and says,
Buhle, Sipho told Mr. Khumalo that you would like to be able to read on your own. Well, we have a surprise for you. My library bus has books for children who can't see, and we'll teach you how to read them. But how?
Asks Buhle. She sounds very excited.
Blind people can read and write using Braille.
Says Miss Moyo.
What's Braille?
Buhle asks, frowning.
Braille is a way of reading and writing used by blind people and those who can't see clearly.
Explains Miss Moyo. Then she asks,
would you like to learn Braille, Buhle? There's a school you can go to where your fees will be paid, and there's a minibus to take you to school and back home every day.
For once, Buhle is speechless, but she stammers.
What?
Then she smiles the biggest smile ever.
This is the best surprise!
Buhle says and does a little happy dance on the spot. Buhle's mother is crying. Sipho's mother is also crying, but they are happy tears. Miss Moyo says,
your friend Sipho made all this possible, Buhle. Sipho is a wonderful friend. I wish I had a friend like him when I was growing up.
Buhle grabs Sipho and gives him a big hug.
Thank you, Sipho. Now I can learn to read on my own. And then I'll learn to write my own stories in Braille too.
Buhle says, sounding very happy and excited. And now Sipho is also doing a little happy dance, and he also has the biggest smile ever. It is wonderful to be able to help a friend. And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called A Way to Read, written by Hloniphani Ndlovu. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplement with great children's stories and activities, available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Top stories at 2. Mkhwanazi gives testimony involving Medicare 24 owner and Scholar Transport Associations threatened to protest after vehicles impounded. Good afternoon, I'm Kulufelo Defo. Suspended Ekurhuleni Deputy Police Chief Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi's relationship with the owner of the Medicare 24, Mike van Wyk, has taken center stage during Parliament's ad hoc committee hearing. This is a company where attempted murder accused Vusmusi Ket Matlala was a director. Commissioner Mkhwanazi has further testified that van Wyk offered to work with the city of Ekurhuleni to assist JMPD officers when injured in the line of duty. He further states that Van Wyk's proposal included the assistance of JMPD officers in running blood work for the drunken drivers.
He's having a program or a plan of working with the EMPD in terms of assisting officers with effective and efficient response when they're involved in incident and accidents, in terms of assisting them when they get injured or get shot whilst they're in the line of duty. You see, another program, it was that they want to work with us in terms of assisting in terms of our drinking and driving.
Minister of Higher Education and Training Buti Manamela has urged matriculants who may not be admitted to universities to consider studying at TVET and community colleges. He says that although an overwhelming number of learners passed with bachelor level marks, this does not guarantee them space at public universities. Manamela briefed the media in Pretoria on the plans of the post-school education and training sector for the 2026 academic year, as well as the state of readiness.
We are strengthening TVET colleges as sector-focused hubs of skills development through centers of specialization, trade test center, modernized workshops, and also industry-aligned curricula. The National Skills Fund is currently funding the Umsinga TVET Smart Campus pilot at a value exceeding 350 million rands, with completion expected by 2027 as part of not just expansion for the sake of it, but also digital expansion. And that's one of the campuses which we are focusing on.
Gauteng government officials have conveyed their condolences to the families of 2 more learners who have died following the Scholar Transport crash in Vanderbilt Park, south of Johannesburg. The death toll now stands at 14, while a 10-year-old survivor is recovering in hospital. The driver, 22-year-old Ayanda Dludla, briefly appeared in the Vanderbilt Park Magistrates Court this morning, and the matter was postponed to March the 5th. Health and Wellness MEC Nomantu Nkomoralo-Hoko
would like to convey our heartfelt condolences following the passing of a 16-year-old female learner in the early hours of this morning at Sebokeng Hospital. This tragic loss brings the death toll from the fatal learner transport accident to 14 as the police has also confirmed the passing of another learner who had been transferred to a private hospital in Albertine. As reported by the department on Tuesday, the 16-year-old was among the two learners who remained admitted in Sebokeng Hospital's ICU.
Scholar Transport Associations in Lenasia, south of Johannesburg, say they will down tools tomorrow. This follows an operation which resulted in more than 60 vehicles being impounded this morning. 3 drivers were also arrested for overloading. Transport Minister Barbara Creasy led the operation, which follows the Scholar Transport crash, which killed 14 learners in Vanderbilt Park on Monday. Chairperson of the Greater Johannesburg Learner Transport Organization, Mishek Ngwane, says they want an audience with government.
Our members have agreed that nothing will happen. The leadership will go and talk to government so we fix the problems and it never happens again. We are also worried about the learners. We are not igniting any violence. We are also just asking for an audience with government so they tell us what's happening with the operating licenses. If the car is not right, they must stipulate why and not impound the cars. If it's because of operating licenses and not something else, then that's not our problem. We complied with government.
And finally, further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump says his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin has accepted an invitation to join the Board of Peace Initiative set up to resolve conflicts around the world. Putin has not confirmed Trump's statement. More countries, including Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Qatar, have now said they'll join. The BBC's Paul Adams reports.
The Board of Peace was originally unveiled by the White House as part of a mechanism for the future governance of Gaza. It now appears to have morphed into something more like a rival to the United Nations. Its proposed charter, which makes no reference to Gaza, says the board will be an international organisation that promotes stability and secures peace in areas of conflict. Countries wanting to join as permanent members will be asked to cough up $1 billion in cash. Donald Trump will serve as inaugural chairman and designate his own successor. So far, only around 16 countries have agreed to join.
The top story at 2 back home, suspended Ekurhuleni Deputy Police Commissioner Chief Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi's relationship with the owner of the Medicare 24, Mike van Wyk, has taken centre stage during Parliament's ad hoc committee hearing. Headlines at 2:30 for SAFM News. I'm Kolofelo Defo.
Whether it is a CCMA referral, problems with a mechanic, unfair blacklisting, or an uncontested divorce, Clientele Legal offers professional legal services to all South Africans. Our plans are affordable, and you receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. We cover civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Our nationwide legal teams are standing by to support you 24 hours a day. Plus, all plans include a 5,000 rand bail benefit. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
In a world of noise, one thing is still clear. Akwele. Introducing the new, still-flavored range from Akwele. Lemon mint, mango passion fruit, blueberry raspberry, peach apricot. Still made from Akwele's 100% natural spring water. Delicious, high in vitamins, low in kilojoules, and still full of joy. It's new, it's refreshing, it's flavored, it's still Akwele.
Hi, I'm Zycard. Catch me every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. on Spotlight as we bring you blow-by-blow sporting action, news. That's Spotlight every Saturday. You don't want to miss it.
What if your child could achieve better academic results in 2026? At Teneo School, they can. Our smart school system tracks every learner in real time and helps teachers spot gaps early. The results? With over 3,500 successful Teneo School matriculants, learners improve their average marks by 12% in the first year. Access affordable private schooling, no restrictive entry, fees starting from 3,000 Rand per month. Enroll now for 2026 at teneoschool.co.za. That's TENEO school.co.za.
You can become a victim of a legal problem, wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
With the ever-changing financial landscape, it can be difficult to make sense of all the moves at times. Join me, Jimmy Moyaha, on the SAFM Market Update with MoneyWeb, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 to 7 p.m, as we break down the key market trends, top financial stories, and smart investment insights, all in one place. It's everything you need to stay financially informed and ahead of the curve.
From the shows that bring us laughter to the moments that inspire us, your SABC TV license makes it all possible. Every license paid supports local stories, top talent, and the programs that unite South Africa. Pay your TV license today. Visit tvlic.co.za or your nearest retail outlet. # your screen, your story. Together, we make it happen.
At Dis-Chem, get ready to start the year strong with better health and better rewards. Enjoy 20% off the lifestyle food range, plus an extra 10% off when you swipe your Better Rewards card. And get 2+1 cheapest free on any Future Life foods. Look out for the Better Rewards icon to get an extra 10% off on Better Rewards brands. Offers valid from Tuesday 13 January to Sunday 15 February. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. Easy to apply, no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The heavyweights of Algerian football, CRB, are on a real hunt for their second win. Meanwhile, Stellies want to maintain their unbeaten run in Group C to remain on the top. This is the CAF Confederation Cup. CR Belouizdad versus Stellenbosch FC this Sunday, 25 January at 8 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC One. Also available on SABC radio stations at 9 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
As we celebrate 90 years of existence, SAFM takes you back to the voices that shaped a nation.
Xolani Gwala will be back again for you 6 to 9 Monday here on SAFM.
And
thanks, Xolani. Good morning and welcome to Morning Talk with me, Kim Gabadeli.
The name is Bonge Kwala. Good to be with you till midday today. Let's engage South Africa.
Welcome to Morning Talk on SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader, with me, Rowena Bird.
90 years of trusted voices. This is SAFM. You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee, live on SAFM.
All right, we are going to jump back to Cape Town. They've just commenced the afternoon sit-down session at that ad hoc committee where we're seeing the suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi testifying before Parliament's ad hoc committee. It's also interesting to observe his body language and demeanor this time around. I think the nerves from the Madlanga Commission have been shaken off. He's definitely not AKA Mr. I need more water today. He seems coherent in everything that he's saying. He seems calmer and clearer, and he's ready to field whatever questions and doubts that the ad hoc committee is posing to him. Let's go back to Cape Town. If everything goes smoothly, which we anticipate it shall, we should have an uninterrupted broadcast until Ashraf comes through at the top of the hour to give you that time check and lead you into the 3 o'clock news. From our end, that's where we leave it for today.
It doesn't provide, but because of people are unable to do what they're important appointed to do. But at least when we have those capacity and the people that are responding, because when we arrest, there's a certain procedure that must follow. Because that's why sometimes we lose lot of cases in the court of law, because people that arrive first, they've got resources, they don't follow a procedure. They tamper with the crime scene, change the crime scene, everything. But it was about that and say, in Katlehong, so in Germiston, we're having these 10 companies, we're having a prison com. How to work with this? And we must know who's operating within our area, how many firearms are they having, how many cars that are there, so that even when we deploy as a prison commander, not at my level then, as we don't call it police station, as metropolis, we call them precinct. That precinct commander, when you plan, we know that at least I'm having 10 companies that are operating in this area. Then the objective was to make sure that we do that strategically. Again, we utilize their resources, but we are able to manage it, you see, and be able to. It was that thing, and make sure that we throw in all the security companies and work with them.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
And we sat in 3 or 4 meetings discussing it, and I was tasked that you run with it, you do it, let it be operational, let it work.
Commissioner, were those procedures that you mentioned, were they in place in respect of CAT VIP security? When you were dealing with CAT VIP security as well as Medicare 24? Because it's not about the question, it's not a general question, it's more specific to those 2 entities.
As I've said, that there was no process. We're starting a process.
Okay.
We're initiating a process that is not there.
Okay, so you then mentioned in paragraph 54 that you were then surprised to receive a letter that there was an investigation in relation to me for improper use of my position, especially when I was acting in line with the official's directives, Mr. Mzolo, who was aware of this initiative. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yes, advocate. I met with DCOP Mzolo, and remember, there was a letter and letters that were sent. The letters, that's why I was saying again, the letters that were, the memorandum, the proposal memorandum of understanding that were crafted or that were presented to EMPD. It was not only about Medicare, you see. There was another one to discuss in terms of how to work, how do we establish relations. And again, there was a request of donation of vehicles out of that, you see. Those are the copies that were submitted. Some were submitted physically, some were there, you see. And the process of communication, it was followed. There was communication, and even I too, I've submitted letters to that office too.
You mentioned that further, that there's documentation from Corporate Legal Services Department of the city to IPED challenging recommendations made by the chief and Mr. Rivo Spies, who claim to have no knowledge of the situation of any working relationship with Medicare 24. If I can just pause there, what is the context of that statement?
Can you repeat it? I was writing something, then I lost you along the way.
You say remember, this is the same paragraph where you say that you were surprised to receive a letter regarding improper use of your position.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, this is just basically in relation to your communication with Mr. Matlala regarding CAD VIP. If you look on the next page, it's specific that from the document it's reflected that EMPD engaged with CAD VIP, but you now were being disciplined for that conduct, for improper use of your position.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe to bring further clarity, it's in regard to paragraph 61. So related to blue lights, related to other communication that you were having in respect of security services, for which you were later suspended.
Thank
Do
you.
you have recollection of that?
Yes.
Maybe we can then just turn to the relevant suspension letter and you can start the story from the top. Just in relation to what happened from this paragraph that you were surprised to be now, pointed out for behaving in a manner that was improper in the context of the workplace. But I'd like to place it in context. At paragraph, at annexure, I think it's annexure 7. Just don't have my actual file. Can I get my file back? At annexure 7, which is at page 7 of the annexures, not that file. Not that file. The one, yes. The one at the bottom, yes.
Annexure.
Page 7, annexure JDM2. No, sorry, not JDM2. It's a later one. It's a suspension letter dated 24 February 2023.
Okay.
It should be JDM 7.
Yes.
Do you have it?
Yes.
You can read in the page.
Married.
No, it's at page 53. Are you at page 53 of the bundle?
Yes.
That page at 53 is a suspension letter dated 20 February 2023. And
Sorry. Yes.
okay. And that letter reads, it's a notice, it says that you were given a notice of intention to suspend on the 21st of February. You were then given an opportunity to provide reasons why you should not be disciplined or why you should not be suspended, which you provided on the 24th of February. And that is at annexure 55. Well, the annexure didn't make it in. And that letter says,
Annexure 55 for which bundle?
no, it's a different one. It's okay. So you provided reasons though within 48 hours.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Yes,
Why
I
you
did
should
that.
not. And subsequent to providing those reasons, you were still suspended.
Yes.
You were suspended. Okay.
It's just formalities.
Yes.
Everyone who does that, suspension is suspension. We don't consider those things.
Okay. And you were suspended for a period of 3 months. And the reason why it was 3 months, it was to afford EMPD an opportunity to investigate.
Yes, advocate.
Yes. And at JMD 9, which is at page 56.
Yes, advocate.
Yes. You did not learn about you say in your statement that you did not know whether an investigation was conducted or not, what the outcome of the investigation was, and whether there was a report to that effect.
By that time, I think I was reporting to a secret agency called EMPD.
A secret agency?
Yes.
Because they were not informing you of the outcome. This you state between paragraphs 19 and 20 of your statement. And there at paragraph 20, you say that once 3 months had lapsed, the suspension was lifted on the 24th of May, because that suspension letter had basically said that it was for a period of 3 months while they investigate.
Yes.
And you were not informed of the outcome of the investigation.
Yes, madam.
And then when you were preparing for the Madlanga Commission, you then subsequently learned that there may have been a report.
May I raise something?
Yes.
There's something that came into my mind. I was called by one of the law firm, which they said they were appointed to investigate. But in their engagement with me, they asked me that before you were suspended, were you informed that it's a tribunal? Means that there's an outside law firm that has been appointed to investigate you, and before that law firm is being appointed, they must agree with you that it's a procedure. It's part of disciplinary processes that if you bring an outside person to investigate, you must be informed. I said, no, I was not informed. I stayed at home for 3 months. There's no communication. There's nothing. They said, sure, no one communicated. I said, there's no communication. That means they ran a secret investigation, appointed outside lawyers to investigate me without even sitting down with these formalities. That it is disciplinary procedure. It says that you must be called, you must be informed, so that if you want to bring an outside attorney to defend you, but there's nothing that happened, madam. It's only those people that called me and say, we want to confirm that, want to check that. Did you agree on that? I said, no one called me. That means Kolane, Revo, Mapieye, they were doing their own secret agent things, you see.
Okay. So when you learned about annexure JDM9,
yes, advocate.
it is a letter from the city to IPED. Do you see that?
Yes, advocate.
Dated 6 December 2023.
Yes, advocate.
What does that letter speak to?
During the time, last year in October, November, when the process of Matlanga was starting, I came across this letter. You see, somebody sent me through WhatsApp and say, are you aware of this letter? You see, when I read, I said, but this letter is discussing about me. And I've got a criminal case that has been opened against me. You see, I made some inquiries and checked. They said, no. The city was responding to IPED. You see, the city had their own internal, except the external one. There was another internal investigation that ran that I was not aware of, but it's fine. They were investigating, they were checking through the city's official. It's their process. So they checked Christine about blue lights and all these rumors that are taking place, about all these processes. That's where Christine explained that no. The person who was doing the process of vehicle, it is me as Christine. The person came to me, I needed the letter of commitment, and he submitted the letter of commitment. Then all the processes were made by me. The issue of blue lights and other things, the story that is not there. Because as the city, before you do those things, you must tender the processes. You see, there was no tender process, and there were no blue lights, there was no branding in this letter. In fact, it was saying that, but we can read it, you see. That's when I came across. It was 2 years. It was 2024, last year, after my suspension. 1 year, 8 months, or 1 year, 7 months after my suspension, to get such communication. But you could see that it was addressed to IPED from our side.
Okay.
You see. But I was not aware about any processes.
Perhaps it's a good time to actually put what the issues were regarding the blue lights before you were suspended. If you turn to page 61 of your statement.
Yes, advocate.
Yes. You regarding the blue lights and registration of vehicles, no and branding that was done or authorization, no branding was done and or authorization or related work to be carried out.
Advocate, I prefer to read it so that it can be recorded.
Okay.
It must come from me.
Yes, you may go ahead. You may
Because
read
I've
it.
been explaining, no one wants to take the story.
Okay.
You see. Allegation on blue lights. Regarding blue lights and registration of vehicle, no blue lights and branding that was done or authorized on related work to be carried out. I did not grant any authorization on the alleged work as it is widely circulated. The vehicles were still in the initial stages of being processed for donation as per the letter of intent to commit to the city of Ekurhuleni, which was requested by the proxy. We've got one proxy as the city. He's responsible for all the city's fleet. Whether it's 20 department, 21 department, whether it's 60, 70 vehicles, he's the only one who's authorized to buy, to register, to brand, to put blue lights for EMPD, and to put red lights for emergency and everything.
Okay.
Yes, his name is Christine.
Chris, if you can just say his full name. What is his full name?
It's Chris. The surname is Stain. Christine.
Okay.
Yes. And we're required to follow all established procedures for formal registration as donated assets, as processes from fleet. They said vehicles were not fitted with blue lights. Attached here is a letter from the proxy marked JDM 17. Last year, advocate, when Madlanga Commission started and when we were busy again as ad hoc, there's a team that comes from National Task Team that came from SAPS. They came, they went to the offices of EMPD, they met with those individuals. I was looking at them through cameras. They drove to Christine. They demanded to see and approval, the letter, the budget and everything for blue light. He responded, I've attached that letter here, that there was no blue lights that were fitted by the city or by EMPD. There was no brand, or there was no branding that was done to any other vehicle. He said the same thing that you have said. He said the same thing as this letter of investigation, the one that you are reading now, that was addressed to IPD. I don't know how did they do investigation, but the letter says that, confirms, the letter that he wrote last December or November, it confirms that what I've been saying, you see, that there are no blue lights, there's no branding that was done by the city. As I've said, that there's a process. You don't just wake up and say, I'm putting blue lights, you can't do that, you see.
So by giving that testimony, are you now saying that you did not approach the Mr. Chris Stain for the purposes of installing blue lights on CAT VIP's vehicles? Is that your evidence?
It was not even part of the discussion. We were still discussing, we were still pushing to win these vehicles on our side. We were still busy with that process. And again,
when you say you were still looking to win the vehicles, because for the sake of time, what do you mean by that?
You know what happens, madam?
Yes.
When you donate, you start by donating to the city. He deals with the vehicles of the city. And ex proxy, he decides, now I'm taking these 4 or 2 vehicles to EMPD. Like now when we buy vehicles, we don't buy vehicles for EMPD. We buy vehicles that are not branded. You buy them for the city. Then in that city, we say, no, but it is our budget, and we bought 15, so it's fine. Then it gives you 15 vehicles. These 15 vehicles, that they don't have blue lights, they don't have branding. You get them from the manufacturer or from the dealer. Then you start another process, tendering process of making sure that you are fitting blue lights and you are fitting branding. When they are allocated to EMPD, you see, it was not even part of the discussion. And it was not even part of my mind or his mind.
When you say it was not part of the discussion, what was not part of the discussion?
The branding and the blue lights.
Okay. All right, you may continue with your with reading in your statement.
I verified this with the city proxy, who is the sole official responsible for the managing the city's fleet. I informed him that a security company called CAT VIP Security had offered to donate their old vehicles after deciding to upgrade to a luxury fleet. This followed discussion with Mr. Matlala, as the department had been facing significant challenges due to shortage of vehicles. The proxy of the city, Mr. Christine, provided guidance on the correct process to follow and emphasized that the department should not incur any cost for donation given our financial constraints. As I've said, that the city that time had financial constraints. Even now, there are challenges. 63. He further advised that a letter of intent to commit will be required from the current owner of the vehicles. He confirmed that there is no prescribed format or legislation governing such letters for the city, as previous donations, such as those involving the there was a donation, city program and Caesars program. There was donation of 3 or 4 vehicles from Caesars Paris, Empire's Paris. It's a casino in Captain Park in the city of Ekurhuleni. In a Ekurhuleni program. And Gauteng heavy vehicles contributions were accepted through stranded letter of intent as per prox. Again, I was sent by the department to go and collect and lead the team that is collecting the vehicles there. There was no letter of donation, no letter of intent. All those processes happened after, but because it was instructions from the chief, we are keeping it under carpet, you see. But those vehicles were donated to the city. I'll talk to that.
By that evidence that you are now leading, are you saying that because firstly, is your evidence that the chief of police did something similar?
Many times. I will talk to that.
So what is that conduct? What is that he did which was similar to what? Are you saying that he also had cars donated similarly to how you also facilitated cars being donated? I'm trying to understand when you say he also did the same thing.
From different institutions.
Okay.
Yes. Got photos, I've got everything, evidence to provide to support that. On this one, I was there. We went to Limpopo. I led the team. We came with the trucks that are useless. We are parking them there. The state is spending, it's 3 trucks, two trucks. The state is spending a lot of money every month, every year to register those vehicles. We are not using them for anything. They were there. We were going to utilize them for for overloads, you see. But the way they were made, they are good for cars for 1987, 1991. The current technology and the cars that we're having, you can't do anything. We donated, we got those donations. Those cars are parked at Albertine workshop now.
Okay. Just for the sake of completion, you are referring to JDM 19.
I'm not sure. On which bundle in this?
No, that one in front of you, yes. That is at page 100, page 100 on that bundle in front of you, yes.
Well, let me talk to this, but there are photos that are not here, but I'm having them. I'm going to submit so that to get all evidence. It's part of what I'm saying. Again, I'm getting charged because the intention in that memorandum of Matala, it was also to donate a chopper. Not to donate, but to sponsor a chopper that will assist in terms of emergency or when we are responding in terms of crimes and other things, you see. And I'm charged for that. But after I'm being charged, they are doing the same thing too. EMPD doesn't have a chopper. Him, the chief of police, Revo Spies, and Ivan Duplessis, they go somewhere, they get the chopper from private company. They brand it. I've also confirmed with the fleet. Said, I don't know anything about it. I'm the one who's branding cars. The chopper is branded, as you see photos. EMPD, I'm the director of specialized services. This K9 unit reports to me. I'm not aware about them and up until somebody sent me this photo. Are you aware about this? I say, I'm not aware about this. You see, they are getting a photo, branding it the way Vus Matlala wanted to do it. They said it's wrong. They charged me, they disciplined me. I was suspended for nothing. But after my suspension, 14 March 2022, you see.
Okay. You speak, if I can just come back to your evidence in respect of CAT VIP, because the question is in regard to that. You say that it was at the initial stages.
Yes.
It never, what you're very clear about is that the cars were never fitted with blue lights. But you also speak about the process being in its initial stages. So which means there were other processes that were meant to follow. What are those?
Let me clarify, Advocate. Mr. Stein was still registering the vehicles. You see, went to him and say, there's this person or this company that would want to donate 4 vehicles to the city.
Okay.
You see, then in those processes said, we can't even take those vehicles. There's a process that must be followed. We need to register the vehicles. We need to take that item to cancel. You see, those vehicles, we never received them physically. It was registration plate and papers to register them. They were still with the owner, you see. Because I was on the hurry, I was...
Honorable Skosana.
Ngiyabonga mgcini sihlalo. Angijamisi uwitness wethu mangiphakamisa isandla. Witness angingimisi ungaqhubeka mangiphakamisa until uchairperson angirecognize. Che bengifuna nje i-clarity quick one. Inkolo yezakhuluma ngazo ukuthi bezijanyiswe somewhere. Mara bekumaphepha kuke wakhuluma something ngesizas. Isizas bosho kuphi mhlambe for clarity say?
Captain Park Emperor's Palace.
Emperor's, not the Caesar's Palace.
before.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so those cars were parked there.
No, it's not those cars. Those
Okay.
ones were donated, branded, we utilized them.
Or you picked them up from Emperor's Palace.
Yes. It
Thank
was no. It's two different institutions. The Emperor's Palace, it was done by Commissioner Revo's Peace. Those cars were donated, they were utilized. Then again, there was another donation of the trucks.
Yes.
Yes, those are to pick at Limpopo. Then those that are still parked at Alberton stores or Alberton workshop, you can't utilize them because with the present cars that we're having, you can't check overloads and everything. See, but we got them, they are there. The process was done after, you see, after we received those cars, there's no processes that was followed. That shows that there's a challenge, there's a capacity, or there's a challenge in terms of police, in terms of receiving and getting the one that I claim. Chris is confirming that you did the same thing. In
Yes,
two
no, it's
fleets.
fine.
Yes.
What I just wanted to find out was clarity on that, and because now you extended you said those cars are still parked.
Yes, at Albertine.
When they were parked there?
Oh, I think it's 4 years now.
Thank
3
you.
or 4 years.
Thank you, Chair.
They're still there. Yes, they are big trucks.
Thank you, Chair.
Chief Whip.
No, Chair, I just wanted to remind you of what we had agreed on at the beginning after lunch. I think we had agreed that we will try our level best to not to intervene when the advocate is going through with the witness until 3 o'clock. So I wanted to remind you in case you've forgotten. Thanks.
When that statement was made, the honorable member was sitting right behind you. May we proceed?
Okay. So you say that they were still at initial stages. Where were the vehicles at the time?
They were still with the owner,
They were with the owner.
Mr. Vus Matlala, or the Cat Security.
They were with Cat
Yes,
Security.
yes.
According to Mr. Matlala's evidence that he gave, he says that the vehicles were in the city's possession for a period of time.
No, it's the documents that were in our possession.
His evidence is that the vehicles were with the city. What, do you have a comment to that?
No, we never received the cars.
Okay, what documents were with the city?
The papers, the ID copies of the owner of the vehicles. In fact, the documents that confirm that this car belongs to that person.
What was the purpose of those papers being with the city?
The proxy was registering them to the city. Yes.
For the purpose of donation?
Yes.
And
because he wanted the letter of intent to donate, we received ID numbers and everything, confirmed that they belong to him. They were in the process of registration.
Okay.
Yeah, he clarified it that we can't, according to him, you can't get cars that are not yet, the council has not yet approved an item on it. You see, that means the previous one, the process was wrong. You see. But as I've said, that it shows the gap and the challenge in terms of policies on that. Because this, as he's saying in this statement and his letters that he has submitted, I don't know, it's JM, you filed it as JM, or the letter from Christine. I think it's very important for us to check it, you see. Oh, but it's fine, the letter from the legal incorporate, our legal team confirms that, you see.
Yes.
Yes, that there was still a process. But
So-
whilst the process was happening,
So your evidence is that you were then suspended for something that actually hadn't even happened and was never the plan for it to ever happen.
Blue Light was never a pen. No,
The
Blue
only
Light,
plan was the donation.
yes, to receive the vehicles.
Okay. May I now
And,
take
and,
you?
and I must mention that I raised it many times, Chair and Advocate, that show me the photos of these 4 vehicles, show me where you stopped them, show me where you got blue lights. Because this story was on Instagram, and within our media team, somebody was making notes. They were calling me blue light blesser in each and every article, but I've said it's fine. Can you prove it to me? You see that you stop this car in Ekurhuleni, because they said these cars are operating in Ekurhuleni with blue lights. And I'm talking about officers, that when you see a car that belongs to a private person, you stop and arrest. It's a criminal conduct, it's an act. You see, and I don't even have powers to put blue lights. It's only the minister that is having those powers, or the recognized institution, police and EMPDs and what, and others, they're having powers to put like your clinic, private clinics and things. They can put red lights and other things. You see, it's regulated. It's the powers that I can't change. It can be changed by this house. You see, not any other individual.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner, if you can then go back to Annexure JM9, which is at page 56. According to that document that you say you saw for the first time 2 years later, because it was never given to you, somebody, I think you led evidence to that fact that somebody sent it to you via WhatsApp.
Yes.
Yes, okay. That letter seems to be addressed to IPID, Acting National Head of Investigations at IPID, and it's on the letterhead of City of Ekurhuleni. And it's stamped by Corporate Legal Services Head Office. I'm not going to read in your case number that was being investigated. It starts off this way. I refer to your memorandum dated 1 September 2023, addressed to Chief of Police, Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department. So IPID, basically what it's saying is that IPID sent a letter to the city on the 1st of September. You agree with that? Yes. This report submitted to me during a meeting called at the Office of the Executive Mayor, despite the manner of your approach being irregular, having excluded the head of department, HR, and city manager as the accounting officer, I nonetheless received the report and annexures. So the city is now confirming that they've received a report dated 1 September 2023 from IPID investigation team.
Yes.
I have since considered this matter. The IPID investigating officer states that since the suspect did not have powers to conclude any agreement on behalf of the city of Ekurhuleni, his actions amounted to fraud and corruption. I'm going to pause there. The suspect is on the subject line, and the subject line is Boksburg CAS 262-03-2023. It's in relation to corruption, fraud, and corruption, CCN, and your name is in brackets. Is that Julius Dr. Mkhwanazi?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So when they talk about the suspect, they're talking about Julius Dr. Mkhwanazi being yourself.
Yes,
okay.
Advocate.
I have consulted with internal staff, and I am advised that based on the current evidence, it will be difficult to prove fraud and corruption. This is from the city of Ekurhuleni, writing to IPID. Your report attaches little or no value to the statement of Director Mkhwanazi, the suspect. Then they get into the respective charges. In respect of fraud, there is unchallenged evidence that the suspect, while acting, if I may just stop there, your paragraph in your statement says that you were surprised why you were being charged, there was misconduct. You said it was surprising to receive a letter at paragraph 54 that there was an investigation in relation to me for improper use of my position. You couch it as improper use of your position. And here we now know that the charge was fraud and corruption. And it was in relation to, okay, we'll read that in shortly.
Okay.
There is unchallenged evidence that the suspect, while acting as chief of police, was given powers by Deputy Chief Police Mzolo to finalize matters relating to security division. Would you like to comment to that?
I think it responds to this.
It's responding, yes,
allegations.
it's responding, yes. The IPOD is basically accusing you of having had powers that were handed to you by Mzolo.
Who opened the case? The opening case is the Deputy Chief Revo Peace. He's responsible for other things. Me and my senior, who's the Deputy Chief, that I report direct to him. You see, he's the one and that Deputy Chief doesn't report to Revo Peace. He reports to the Chief of Police. You see, and the person who opened the case, it's EMPD. It's him who opened. And there was no way that he could have known anything because we're not reporting to you. For the past 20 years, since I was working in the city, I never reported anything to him. In fact, I don't even know that he's existing in the city, you see, because we don't have resources because of him, you see. Okay. And now he goes and opens the case. You see, I will relate the story with why is he opening the case. It's a question of a succession plan, you see.
Okay, but if we can then just go to paragraph 4 of that letter.
Yes.
It reads, according to the attached exhibits, the draft MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, between the city and Medicare 24 was sent to the Chief of Police's PA for the Chief's attention in October 2021. This was pursuant to a to-do list given by the to the suspect by Mr. Mzolo. Okay, we can't really speak to that. We continue. The registration of the vehicles, which is what we are dealing with in that section regarding the allegations with blue lights. The registration of the vehicles was not done by the suspect, but by the authorized personnel from the fleet. This is what the city is saying back to IPED. The investigating officer says Steyn was instructed to effect registration on the vehicles. What vehicles are they talking about there?
It's those 4 vehicles.
You said the process was at initial stage.
Yes.
And I asked, I'm just asking you, Commissioner Mkwanazi, to perhaps give a version and give your evidence regarding that. What is your evidence regarding that now this report says that it was not just the initial stage, but there was now a process of registration? Because your evidence was that nothing actually ever happened. Even though Kat Matlala says that the cars were with the city, you said no cars were with the city, and you also say that, in fact, no cars were ever registered. There was an intention to do that, but nothing was ever done. Now, this is speaking to cars that were being registered, and I'm asking that perhaps you can take us on that and give us a version. What is your evidence on that?
Now, Advocate, I think you couldn't hear me clearly. Okay. The initiation stage is a process of registration of vehicle. That's where it starts, you see. Because once you donate, those vehicles must be registered to the person or must be given to the person. But Chris said we can't get them, we can't receive them physically. Let's finalize the process, the paperwork first, so that they belong to the city. Then when they belong to the city, that's where you can take them. It was on that process. He was busy with the initiation stage of registration of vehicles. That's a process that was busy with. Okay. When I've said to you there were papers and ID copies of Vusimatlala, it's because he was busy with that process. That's where you do registration. Because you must have original papers that belong to the person, you must have ID copy to prove
so
that.
it was the initiation stage of registering the cars, yes, which never actually happened. No blue lights, no registration.
No. Blue lights are separate. Registration was there. Yes, it was done.
Registration was done.
Yes. When we were in the process of supposed to receive vehicles, it was stopped. That's where all these things came in, that there are blue lights and what. Then Christian said, no, we can read it, then I will talk, because...
It then continues to say the evidence by Steyn is that he was approached by the suspect, being Commissioner Mkwanazi, for purposes of vehicle registration, and Steyn requested a letter of donation, which was duly produced by the suspect. And that letter, we don't have to go to it, is at page 99 of the bundle. It's not contentious, it's in your own bundle. The letter also sets out the cars at page 98, which cars ought to have been registered. You agree with that? Yes. Okay, so the letter of donation was received from CAT.
Yes.
Okay, and those cars were 2 BMWs, 1 Mercedes-Benz, and 1 VW Golf. They are reflected at paragraph 3 of JDM 21, page 98 of the bundle. Okay, for now we are still on the same page.
I lost you, madam.
Okay.
Which paragraph now?
We're back to page 57. We're reading the letter, but we were just reading it in context with the letter of intent. Therefore, Steyn was not instructed on the strength of this letter. Steyn then delegated this function to the relevant officer to do the registration. So when they say the strength of this letter, they're talking about the letter from CAT Protection. CAT VIP Protection, dated 15 June 2022. On the strength of this letter, Steyn then delegated this function to the relevant officer to do the registration. Therefore, Steyn was not instructed to do the registration, but he followed the fleet department's processes that regulate the vehicle registration. Furthermore, Steyn says he saw nothing wrong with the donation letter. So that's registration, which you do not have an issue with. You do confirm that the vehicles that I mentioned at paragraph 3, being 4 cars that belong to CAT VIP, were registered.
Yes, Advocate.
Okay, then we get into the second section, which is paragraph 8. In respect of corruption, the investigating officer, Xulu, says fraudulently registering vehicles using the city's funds amounted to corruption because CAT benefited unduly. This is not true. That's what the city is saying. The city is disputing what the IPID has said. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. The vehicles were not registered fraudulently, as explained above. It is difficult to see how CAT benefited from the registration. That's what that says. The city is one that stood to the benefit of the registration of the vehicles, particularly considering that the EMPD had a shortage of vehicles. Okay. And then it goes on to say the elements of corruption in Section 4, Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, requires a public official to act personally and not to influence others. Do you have anything, do you want to comment on this letter? This is a letter that goes back to IPID regarding IPID's investigation. IPID finds you to be guilty of corruption and fraud, and they base that on the memorandum of understanding, and their basis is that you had no authority, you were not an accounting officer, and you had no authority to enter into this memorandum of understanding with CAT VIP, and so therefore you pretended to be a person who had authority, and that is the reason that they were recommending that you be charged. On the other hand is a letter from the city contradicting the findings of IPID and saying, well, they are misguided on their investigation. Do you have a comment to that?
Well, what I like about this letter, that they didn't engage me before they wrote this letter. I was not aware about this letter. I was not aware about the city's investigation on this, you see. And it was not even addressed to me. It is addressed to IPID. They responded to IPID. You see, 2020, there's a date, 06 December 2023. You see, even when I back, I'm not aware. But Chris has stated clearly. Chris here is confirmed. Oh, the advocate here, Advocate Zulu, Advocate Jabulo Zulu, and acting HOD head. He's an attorney or a lawyer too. You see. Sure. They are saying exactly what I'm saying. and what I've been saying. That there were no blue lights that were fitted, sorry.
No, I wanted to request the witness to speak through the mic. We are receiving complaints. They can't hear him. People who are watching from home.
Thank you, Chair. I will try to be disciplined. When I move paper, I move too. But I'm saying, I'm confirming, or I'm happy about this letter because I was not consulted when they drafted this letter. And I was not aware when it was drafted. And it confirms what I've been saying, what Christine, the proxy, he's a senior person in the city, as I've said, that he deals with all the vehicles, that these are just gossip, rumors, and character assassination. You see, and I repeat again, in their findings, it's a negative finding that the comments Legal and Corporate to charge me. And Legal and Corporate responds to them that we charge him with what, you see. That's the response between Advocate Zulu and Kulu, senior investigator from, you see. I think that's why. And yeah, there's no Dr. Mashaz, as people are saying, hey, it's close to Dr. Mashaz, what. Yeah, it's a Legal and Corporate of the city responding to IP, not even me. I was not included. I'm always saying thanks to Madlanga, thanks to ADOC. I was not going to come across this document or other documents. Thank you, Advocate.
Thank you, Commissioner. So what I would like to just ask you to comment on is the Memorandum of Understanding, because it seems that is where the problem actually starts regarding the blue lights.
And that's where we're going to pause with the ad hoc committee for now. You've been hearing the voice of the suspended EMPD chief, Deputy Chief Mkwanazi, and we'll certainly get back to that as a major feature of what we do for the next 3 hours with the National Pulse, which starts now. But before all of that, it's SFM News with Momentum. Those with financial advisors have a better shot at generational wealth. Speak to a Momentum accredited financial advisor for advice that meets your context. With the news at 3 years, Kolofelo Tefu.
Thanks, Ashraf. Top stories. The Sawa teacher killed at Ntabankulu in the Eastern Cape, and there's a picket at U.S. consulate in Cape Town. Good afternoon. We start with